Good morning, everybody. So lovely to see you. Today is a day off, and I think I often come to you just completely barefaced after having done my skincare, washing my skin, putting a little toner on it, and sometimes a little moisturizer, and just starting the day's makeup. Because usually when I shoot these videos, I want to show you the products. So I try to do it in the morning time. So I'm coming at you with the crazy bed head and my pajamas, which you're probably used to by now. And this is Au Naturel, Radiating Beauty with Denise. Unfiltered, coming at you. Anyways, today's video is really fun because I'm going to just do a compilation of some of my most favorite drugstore products that I don't believe I've ever done a video on. I say that every single time I do a video of some kind or another, unless it's just a regular get ready with me, but I just look through my playlist. I don't recall ever, like I've done drugstore stuff, but I don't recall ever talking about some of my very favorite drugstore products. So that's what we're going to do today. So if you're interested in seeing what my favorite drugstore products are, then just keep watching this video. All right. So we're going to start with probably one of my most favorite drugstore brands. And you're probably going to guess what that is, because really there's lots of drugstore brands, but there are two fairly popular ones, at least on YouTube, TikTok. And the one I'm going to talk to you about is e.l.f. Eyes, Lips, Face. In case you didn't know, that's what the acronym e.l.f. stands for, with the whole pretense of the start of that cosmetics company to be a cosmetics company that was affordable for all. So bravo to you, e.l.f., for making that happen, because your price point is the chef's kiss. And this product in particular that I'm holding is one of my favorites. It is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, which really reminds me of a very much more bougie, expensive product from Tatcha. And anyways, this is really great. I never sort of start my makeup out without doing a little sort of pore filling. I just feel that it provides a really nice canvas for putting the rest of your makeup on. And today I'm not actually going to use a foundation, just because today is kind of a little bit of a runaround day, and other than a dental appointment, again, another dental appointment, you guys, I don't really need to wear full makeup. So anyways, but that Poreless Putty Primer is so good. I mean, just look at the size of it. You get it. I think it was like, I don't know, it's e.l.f., so it's like maybe $8 or $10 for that whole thing. But, am I ever going to go through the entire amount of product? Probably not. So I love it for that reason. But anyways, just kind of put it on the areas that kind of add to the pores. I even put it on my 11s right here, because, if I scrunch, you can see they're pretty significant. And if you put a little bit of that pore filling primer in it, kind of acts like sort of like smoothing stucco, but for your face. So that's a really good one. And I have two foundations that I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to start with actually the liquid foundation of choice from the drugstore. And then we're just going to go to the one that I'm actually going to be using on my face. So let's just get this one out of the way. This is probably one of my all-time favorite foundations. And I know that foundations can be very, very individualized. So you take it with a grain of salt. If you have fairly similar complexion to me and you're in the 45 plus group, but not completely dry skin, you still have some oil in the T-zone and you're fairly fair, you're going to probably really enjoy this. Is the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Long Wearing Full Coverage Foundation from Catrice. I think this is in the color 1N4. I think if there's a number, but anyways, I don't see the sticky anymore. It was on the side. This is just really excellent. It's like $13 at the drugstore, and it's really nice. It doesn't have any heavy fragrance. It doesn't crease. It doesn't sort of like, dry or crumble. I just think it's really nice. And the addition of the hyaluronic acid in there is lovely because it helps to sort of retain that moisture to your skin, which is king when you're in the 45 plus group. So anyways, this is a beautiful one. My only critique about this is the very silly little pump at the top, which I usually like in a foundation, but this one is kind of leaky. So just a heads up on there. If you're in Canada, you can probably purchase that at Shoppers Drug Mart, but just a caveat, it's not at every Shoppers. So before you go and waste your valuable gas, because we know the price of gas these days, make sure to actually call ahead and see if they carry any of the Catrice cosmetics, because they don't all, and each one is slightly different from the other. So just a heads up on that. Okay, the next drugstore one I want to talk about is a fairly recent launch by this makeup line, and I did do like a little YouTube short and I think an Instagram reel. But anyways, this is the Physicians Formula. This is their Butter Believe It, and it's their pressed powder. This happens to be the this happens to be the translucent. Are you a transient powder? Interesting. I'll have to further investigate the situation. But anyways, I love this. If you like the butter bronzer, wow, I think I need more coffee. I can't talk this morning. But if you like the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula, this has the exact same smell to it. I just love it. You can see I've already hit pan, so there's proof that I use it. But I love to get a soft kind of stipple brush, but whatever way you want to apply it, brush is probably best. And then I just like to, I have to be careful. I woke up this morning and I don't know, the camera can't really show up my nose. Very tip of it was very sore, and looks like there's like a clogged pore underneath the skin that's trying to make its way out. So I have put some witch hazel, and I'm going to try keep it as clean as possible, because that would be awkward, would it not, to have a large blind pimple on the end of your nose? Like, I would not appreciate that. So I just like to just collect a little. Wow. In the morning, my brain and my mouth are not connected properly. I just love it. I just do the whole swirl, so you get a little bit of the light and a little bit of that sort of like iridescent, I don't know, glowy light bronze to it. But it's just really, really pretty. It's undetectable on the skin, but it just gives a slight, I don't know, luminosity, a little dewiness to your skin. And it just kind of helps to even out a little of the different sort of colorations, if you have any sort of redness in your skin, that sort of thing. But anyways, I love it. The smell, if you don't like the butter bronzers, that beachy coconut smell, it does dissipate quite quickly, so you don't really have to worry. I'm not a huge, big fan of, added fragrances, so if it's kind of hung around too long, I'd be the first one to tell you. But it does not. Okay, let's go now to talk about the iconic, I think probably #1 selling drugstore concealer, at least in North America. I was like, wait a minute, this is very empty. So I keep this just to kind of, if I do a quick sort of eyeshadow base, this is my empty one. This is my full one. And this is the Maybelline Instant Age Eraser Concealer. Whatever is the lightest color is the one I use. I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar with this. You just dial it up, and then it just gives you just lovely product. And the nice thing about this is obviously the sponge tip applicator, but it just, I don't know, it's just a great drugstore concealer for brightening up your eyes, and not being too heavy and too crepey and settling into fine lines and wrinkles. It can even get that little sort of discoloration from the sun. I mean, I have to say, like, it's #1 selling drugstore concealer for a reason. I also like to do just a little down the nose, avoiding the tip, because God forbid we do not want to aggravate that terrible little sore pimple that's there. But anyways, love this. This is a great concealer. And I just think that it's just so nice. It just helps to brighten up, as you can see, the face, covers what you need to cover, doesn't settle into fine lines and wrinkles, and it's at drugstore prices. And it's pretty much available, I think, in most drugstores in the United States and in Canada. So a big thumbs up for that. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little bit more of that Physicians Formula translucent powder just to kind of set just the under eyes just a little bit, because it is so undetectable and it just helps to kind of keep everything crease free. I am not a big component of using a lot of powder. I always say in the 45 plus group that less is more for your eyes. I said it a million times. I'll say it a million times more, just because I think, you know, when you sort of rediscovering makeup and you get back onto YouTube, you just want to dive into all of these like cool sort of techniques with the contouring and the baking and the strobing. Yeah, the problem is a lot of them don't work if you have mature skin and you have fine lines and wrinkles, right? You know, when you're in your 20, you could put a paper bag over your head. It looks pretty darn good, I'd say. Okay, now speaking of eye prep, I'm going to take my empty age rewinder and I'm just going to go over the lids, because that's what I use this empty one for, just to kind of cancel out any sort of discoloration on the lids. It also helps to absorb a little of the oiliness of the lids and kind of gets it ready for a little eyeshadow prep. As you can see, I am a real, what's the word, sun lover. I sit in the sun and I bake. No, I do not. I run from the sun, literally run from the sun. You will never find me sunbathing. And if I have any color on my body, it's just basically fake tan and bronzer. And the bronzer of choice that I'm using, and I'm so happy to say, is a Canadian classic. It is Marcelle Cosmetics that's made right here in Canada. And this is the Eye Bronzer Shine. And I mean, let's give it up for some sort of like drugstore packaging as well, because that is absolutely beautiful. I mean, there's some high ends that even don't do packaging as good. And it's the lightest bronzer that they make. And I just get that on a more dense brush, but I love Marcelle. I think I did say in a short, if anyone wanted to see a whole bunch of Canadian brands, just Canadian brands. So I think that I'm going to be doing that video, because when I first put up the questionnaire, you know, on my community tab, I think I only got like 2 or 3 thumbs up. Yes, that would be a good idea. And I just recently was cleaning up like playlists and looking around at my videos and any additional comments. And now I've got 21 thumbs up. So obviously some people somewhere, they want to see that. So I will definitely do an all Canadian sort of video of my makeup, because in case you didn't know it, I am a Canadian YouTuber, a Canadian mature YouTuber. And yeah, it would be great to do that, because we don't have tons of Canadian makeup companies, but we do have a few. And sadly, one of our really great ones, Bite Beauty, as you know, is no longer, right? They're selling all their products. They're going out of business. I mean, I just hope they come back as something else that's Canadian. But yeah, it's just one of the, I guess, the victims of the whole COVID situation, right? Which is not good. But anyways, you can see this eye bronze shine from Marcelle. It's not really strong, but the beauty of these type of bronzers when you're so fair is that they also don't make you look dirty and, you know, orange-like. They just are meant to kind of give you sort of a slight warmth to the skin and a little bit like you have been kissed by the sun. Using bronzer for eyeshadow. And so I'm actually going to use my Marcelle Eye Bronzer Shine just kind of like as a transitional color. So I'm just going to get that all over the lid and in the crease here on top of my Maybelline Age Eraser Concealer, just because because, you know, I just want something that's a really easy look. So thus a really fluffy blending brush too, because I don't want it to be so dark and specific on the lids. I just want a little kiss of bronze kind of in there, and then I'll decide if I want to top that up a little afterwards. But I just love it. I love using blush and bronzer as eyeshadows. Not that I have any shortage of eyeshadows, because God knows that's not the case. I have lots of eyeshadows that I could use. I'm also going to take that down just to the bottom sort of lash line here, just to kind of carve out the shape of my eyes as well. Sometimes when you don't do it, the bottom just gets a little lost, and then you kind of lose the shape, the overall shape of the eyes. And this is their Velvety blush. It's a very small pot, so it's really perfect for traveling, but it's just one of those that just, you lay it on, and like I've said a million times before, I think the true mark of a nice blush is one that is buildable, but that's not so strong that you're there for hours just trying to blend it out. You want to be able to build up the color of your blush, and this blush does that perfectly. Another great blush that I had that I was hoping to include for this video of my drugstore favorites was the Milani Baked blushes. Unfortunately, mine, which was like 2 years old, had hard pan, and I could no longer get any sort of like pigment from it. So it has gone bye-bye, but this is beautiful. Again, if you're in Canada, I'm not sure if you can get Marcelle in the United States, but if you're in Canada, you sure can. And it's just a lovely, very soft, kind of soft coral blush, as its name implies. This is one of my favorites, as you can see by the size of the pencil. That's right, it is literally this big because I use it all the time. This is my NYX Wonderstick, and it's wonderful because you can use it as sort of like a highlighter in the inner corner of your eye. You can use it as intended, which is just like a nude eyeliner. You can also use this as a spot concealer. It would be in the lightest color. And I'm just going to put that on the bottom waterline just because it really helps to open up the eyes and just make them look like really awake and slightly bigger. And it's a little bit different than when, you know, you see the 20-year-olds applying white. I mean, white under the eye is very editorial, but it doesn't really wear well in the real world, if you catch my drift. So the idea of doing something like that, if you're looking for that look to really brighten the eyes, like I said, you can just put it on the inner corner as well, which is a really nice trick for, again, just looking like you're super awake, is using the Nude eyeliners, and there's a number of them. I also have a Marcelle one that is actually approved by the Ophthalmology Association of Canada, safe for eyes, but this NYX Wonderstick, it's great. And again, you know, NYX is sold in brick and mortar stores and throughout many drugstores. So definitely a good one. Okay, so I've got the bronzer, I've got the blush, I've got a little bit of the eyes done with the transitional sort of Marcelle bronzer. Now I do want to do just a little nose contour. So let's go in and talk about my next NYX favorite product. This I have had in my arsenal for probably the last 3 or 4 years. This is the NYX Wonderstick, but in the cream, and in one end it's said to have a highlighter. I don't know that I've ever used the highlighter much, but the other side, which is the gold, is the contour stick. And I really like to use nose contour, or do a nose contour, because it's obviously in the center of my face, and it just really sort of like, I don't know, it just, when I do my makeup, if I don't do a nose contour, I feel that the end of my nose is so much larger looking than it needs to be. And when I have the nose contour on, my face just looks snatched. And I like a snatched face. That's right, Scott Barnes. Snatched. I like a snatched face. So I'm going to get this bronzer side. Now they come in, I think, 4 different shades. This is the light medium, and it's a cream product, so it's very easy to apply. The idea is just get it up high. I try to make a very narrow draw there, and then just go on the side. Again, I'm totally avoiding just this tip area because I don't really want to irritate that little pimple. I don't want to make it angry, but I am going to do a little of the highlighter in the center just for contrast, so that when I kind of blend that line, hopefully it's just going to kind of define. And so I just generally, I'll take my stipple brush from MAC, and then I just kind of do a very soft, you know, stippling and blending. I just kind of blend up instead of out. And then what you get, what you should end up with, is just kind of like a nicely defined nose. That's not screaming like you put contour on, but it really does define your overall look. So I don't know if you guys do that. You could easily do a nice nose contour with a bronzer powder as well. You certainly don't have to use a cream, but I just find it for ease. It's just so much easier just to kind of like swipe it on your nose like that. This is the NYX Powder Puff, and this is like a liquid eyeshadow. It's a liquid eyeshadow. It's a liquid lipstick, but it comes in a puff. I can't even say. It comes in like a sponge, and basically you squeeze a little of the product out. Yeah, you hope that it doesn't actually pop off the whole bottle, and then you just kind of, and the only thing I had on my lip was a little Laneige lip balm. And then you just kind of go around, and it does stain the lips, which is what I like. But it gives you that really nice, this mauve-y sort of berry color, gives you a little bit of the stained like popsicle lips. And then I like to do like a lip gloss, or you could put on your favorite balm, but without actually using a lip liner. You certainly could. I don't. I just kind of like that sort of like just soft, balmy pink look. But if you wanted to go one step further, then you could try this amazing drugstore product. These are the Milani Fetish Balm lipsticks that they just put out, I think, the last year. I mean, look at the packaging. Can we appreciate it? That looks like a Valentino lipstick if ever I've seen one. And this one is in the color Lingerie 130. This is said to be a medium, light to medium, very balmy, very moisturizing, you know, lipstick. So keep the balmy part in mind, because anything that's very balmy on the lips will tend to slide around. But you can see Lingerie on top of my powder puff from NYX. It kind of gives you that lovely moisturizing, super comfortable, kind of like light pink mauvey look, which I just think is just so pretty. But this is just a regular CoverGirl, and I bought this like 3-4 years ago. I just love it for the shape, but I almost never put mascara on unless I curl the lashes. So I like to give it 5 pumps. And the same on this side. This is it. This is my favorite drugstore mascara of all time. This is the Essence Lash Princess. This is the purple and black bottle. There's another good one, which is the green and black bottle, which is another Lash Princess. That one is the lengthening one. This is the Sculpting Volume one. The price point, you guys, the way it wears, it's really great. But as soon as it starts to get clumpy, then it'll tend to flake off. And that's when you know your mascara is old. Just dump it out because it's done. Should only keep your mascaras anyways for around about 3 months is what they recommend. But I just love this. I just think that, you know, this is a fresh new bottle for the price point of $4.99 retail. That's $4.99 Canadian retail. This is like so good. So you can see I didn't have anything else on my lashes. I literally just curled them 5 little pumps, and then I put this on, and I just love it. I think it is so nice. But like I said, I just had a tube that I had to throw out because as I was applying it yesterday for work, it was clumpy and then it got flaky throughout the day. And that's when I know, because the Essence mascara just normally doesn't do that. It is just like an excellent mascara for the price point. It's equal to any of the really expensive ones. And what I like to do is a couple of times a year, shoppers will have the Essence Lash Princess on sale for $1.99. I literally rush there and I buy like 3 bottles right away. So yeah, it's just great. I mean, how can you beat the price point and then get the same effects? Like, I am a 45 plus working woman, no eyelash extensions. This is au naturel, baby, as natural as they come. I just did a little curl of the lashes and then applied this mascara, and I just think like it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I think it just makes your lashes just like so long and voluminous. I love it. But anyways, that's me. I guess not everybody is a huge lash princess lover. I was just watching a bigger YouTuber and she said she tried it, but she's not a fan. And that's okay, because that's the beauty of makeup. This is Milani. This is their baked highlighter in Dolce Perla 110. Again, can we have a moment for the packaging? Like, it's so blinding. It's beautiful. This is amazing just because I want a little bit more definition just at the bridge of the nose here. And a tiny bit, I'm going to stay away from that nose, and then just, I like it on the chin. I think it looks very youthful. And I put now a little bit of highlighter kind of right here. Really helps to sort of brighten up the face. I'm going to put a little bit here on the brow. And then, you guys, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to dab it right on top of that bronzer just to kind of give the eyes. I know I put my mascara on, so I have to be careful because I just thought of it now, but I like a little bit of something kind of in the center of the lid just to give an additional sort of like visual interest there. But the other product I want to talk to you about is this one. This is a little secret. This is also a Canadian company. This is Annabelle Cosmetics. This is one of their metallic cream pots in the color Chromium. And I almost didn't buy it because I watched a old YouTube video and somebody was talking about how they loved it because it's like liquid metal. And they said, but don't buy it unless you're using it right away because it dries out. Well, I've had this lid that comes with it on for the last 2 years, tight, put it in my drawer. It has never dried out. So I just wanted to tell you, because if you're like me and you like metallic or glitter, but not chunky glitter, you're going to love this product. Like, would you look at that? Let's put that on the center of the lids too, just so you can see just how crazy good that little pot is. It's so reflective. You need sunglasses to look at me. Not even joking. All right. Anyways, that is one of my favorites. I just love this. I believe it's still available, but like I said, this is like a champagne pop to your eyes. But like I said, like liquid metal, they have a number of different shades. And this color is Chromium by Annabelle. They're creamy metallic eyeshadows. It is like, it's the cat's meow, the cat's pajamas, the end all be all. I don't know. I'm done my drugstore makeup look for today. I am going to do some beachy waves on this crazy bed head here. I'm not going to do that online. I don't think anybody needs to see that. But anyways, you guys, oh, look, there's my NYX Wonderstick. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, I don't always talk about drugstore products, but yet we all know that if you're a makeup lover, then you have your staple of drugstore products as well. I would love to know what your sort of ride or die drugstore products are down below. That would be really fun, because if I don't have them in my collection, maybe I want to purchase them. And perhaps I've also shown you a few of the products that I love that you're like, I think I'm going to give those a try as well. Have yourselves a absolutely wonderful, wonderful end of your week, and we'll talk to you guys all next week. Bye for now.